What's crazy to think about is had Bell been an adventurer for 5 years, it would still be insane to think what he's been through over such a short amount of time just since being in the lower floors of the dungeon. But Bell's been an adventurer for under a year. I think it's like 6-7 months, something like that, if you look at from season 1 now all the way to the end of season 4. And what this boy's been through, and the fact that he still hasn't given up, would force most people into an early retirement, but bless him, even in the face of absolute death, he refuses to give up and will protect Ryu till his dying breath. What an episode this was. We have one to go before we say goodbye and have to wait for season 5, and it was incredible. I love how this season in particular, especially core 2 of season 4, has really done an excellent job at rising characters up to then tearing them down, but never making it feel completely helpless in the way that even if you as the viewer are giving up, there's at least one character who refuses to do so. And bless Bell, because without him, man, most people would have given up a long time ago. Any other person falls to the bottom pits of hell, most parties are turning around knowing they're dead, but they all know that our boy is still alive and well even without hearing confirmation. Incredible episode for sure. I do have a full live reaction available on my Patreon, so if you want to see my full uncut thoughts, head on over there and consider supporting. Otherwise, let's talk about this one. This was a great episode. I was actually surprised by how calming and slightly erotic the first half was. But this goes hand in hand with what I just said about how they know how to de-escalate. They know how to let you let out a sigh of relief. They literally discover what they call the oasis. So no monsters are coming. The only downside is that there's no food. So yeah, they have water, they have drinking water, but for the first time since literally facing the Juggernaut, they were able to catch their breath, and they looked rather well, which was a clever way to go about things, because had they just bumped into the Juggernaut again after it became this chimera beast, oh, a sheep, I'll take that, oh, an ogre-looking creature, I'll take that, it literally is Frankenstein's monster and seems worse than before. Silver lining might be that because it's not just the blade shell that it once was, it might have more meaty areas that they can stab and wound potentially, given the visual design anyway, but seriously, had they not been able to recover as much as they did, I just feel like it would have been a one-shot right there. But the way they really used the first half of the episode to get across the emotional bond, I mean, we know the flirtatiousness, we know our boy gets a little flustered because there's a naked elf next to him, and she's very much developing these strong feelings for Belle as a person, right? So for them to kind of have like that, what should be a cliche moment, but allow them to just finally catch their breath and embrace each other as two people rather than, are we friends, are we family, are we lovers? No, they needed each other now more than ever. Yes, you kind of get a little eroticness to it, you get a little sexy fun times, but at the end of the day, it was just letting them feel vulnerable without knowing that there's going to be a creature that's going to attack them. And I thought it worked really well to just let everyone calm down, so then when the second half rolls around and you start getting the intense music and we're back up to the floor that literally caused us living hell, I mean, it does a really good job to set the stage for the last episode. I wasn't expecting maybe it to look like this, but I was totally expecting the Juggernaut to pop up. Just honestly, initially when they got to that wide room and they went down like the narrow corridor there, I thought that's where he was going to pop up. Well, when he jumped down, I mean, I wasn't surprised he was there. The visual design caught me by surprise because all the damage seemingly we did to it back in Core 1 was completely reversed because, I mean, it's no wonder this thing survived for so long. It can literally eat things and just become even stronger, or at the very least repair any damage that might have been done to it. When you look at the Juggernaut as a creature to fight in a dungeon or any anime with like a big boss fights, it's honestly the absolute perfect boss to fight. You have this like twin-headed beast that we fought earlier, right? And it's a great floor boss. But out of anything we've seen, I honestly think this is like the most frightening because it's speedy, it's lanky, it's just, you know, you think, oh, at first you could easily kill this thing, and it can casually cut your head off. If we rewind to the end of the first half of this show, in terms of season 4 that is, the only reason Bell's head didn't get cut off is because he had I think it's called the Goliath scarf or whatever he had, the scarf, right? The scarf is the only reason that his neck just got snapped rather than completely severed, right? So here's the thing, Bell is in very bad shape. One wrong move gets killed. It's lanky, it's speedy, it's giant swords every which way you look at this thing. and they haven't really been able to catch their breath in the way that they're back to 100%, they have full equipment, full potions, all this, that, and the third. No, like, it is just not good. It is not good whatsoever. And I love the fact that this show isn't afraid to tear characters down to their breaking limits. We know there's reinforcements seemingly coming. We have the intelligence monsters that went on ahead. Maybe they're going to pop up, which I've been saying this like 4 different times. Eventually, they got to pop up, in my opinion. But then again, maybe they'll just go the direction of Bell being able to do it himself. As it stands, do I think he can? No, but the author has proven they can write Bell in a way that he does things that I don't think are possible, but then I like the reasoning that they give. We know his familia is coming, so all things considered, as hopeless as it looks, I love how this season has been all about tearing characters down, making them feel like it's helpless. I mean, if we rewind early into season 4, when it started to feel helpless, it looks like baby play compared to where we're at now. And as I keep saying, even if every character that has had a death flag at some point over their head makes it out alive, it doesn't negate the feeling, the anxiety, and the terror that this season has got across. Characters don't have to die in moments where it looks like they might. Because if they do, yeah, the warning flags were there, so you can't be totally mad that you didn't see it coming. But even if a character like Bell can't actually fully die because his head got seemingly annihilated, it doesn't change the impact of what it does to the viewers in the moment or what it does to the characters. If Ryu, a character who has not looked like she was making it out at all, does in fact make it out, we look at the future possibility of a character who gave up that noble goal of being like Bell someday. She can go back to that potentially and has such a bright future ahead of her. It doesn't change the fact that this has been exhilarating and terrifying, and that's what makes this season so exhilarating, is that even if these characters do all make it out alive, there's been so many close calls that not only is their victory going to feel all the more earned because of what we've experienced, it's going to change the future of so many of these characters going forward, and I'm really excited to see. I am rooting for both Bell and Ryu to get out. Honestly, at this point, I'd trade a couple of our familia just so she can get out in particular because she's had such a big death flag. I mean, the only way that it could have been a little bit better in a what-if scenario, maybe a little after the credits gag, yeah, maybe it wouldn't fit narratively given how we end the episode, but just imagining Wealth and them coming into the oasis and just seeing a naked Bell and naked Ryu basically embracing each other, it would have looked so bad because they, from their point of view, have been through hell, and they just casually see our boy just making sweet love by the sparkling water. That could have been taken so wrong from them, and he would be like, bro, you don't understand how many times I almost died down here. Obviously, we wouldn't see that for a bunch of reasons, but it's funny to think about if you look at some of the out-of-context images that you could show people from this episode. But I like it, just when you think the bad dragon-looking skeleton creature's finally gone for good, Juggernaut said, hey, I had a very healthy breakfast, now I'm gonna eat you. If that's what happens when it eats just general monsters, I'm kind of curious if maybe it would also get strength power up if you eat strong adventurers too. Either way, it ain't looking good. You can stop and smell the flowers all you want, Belle, but this fight is not going to be pretty for you or anyone who decides to get involved. But that's just my feelings. What did you think of this episode? What do you hope to see with the last episode next week? Do let me know down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload on the channel, and of course, as I mentioned, I do have that full live reaction available on my Patreon. While you're there, you can also get a video shadow. So today we have Sai, Ratchanen, 558TH, and shootie-san. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.